Welcome back. I was describing to you the Palestinian influence on the New Testament, especially the writings of the Qumran community, and Josephus attests to the genuineness of all those writings. Now, I would like to briefly explain to you the Easter season readings which have a special structure. Easter season, from the Easter Vigil Mass onwards, there are readings with very special references. The first one, the Easter week itself, the various apparitions of the risen Lord, which I already described to you. Altogether there are 12 of them in the New Testament. About 8-9 of them are from the Gospels and the others from the New Testament. So those especially given by the New Testament as appearances are really valuable to prove that Jesus risen, alive, and appeared to so many. There are 12 such apparitions. If you follow one numbering, there are certain doubts regarding whether 2 appearances given in the Bible are perhaps the same from 2 aspects, but doesn't matter. That's not a very important one. It ends with the appearance to Saint Paul. He was actually called by Jesus himself, and you are familiar with that conversation. So that will be the 12th appearance of the risen Lord. I am not going to repeat what I already said. So remember, there are 12 apparitions, and all the 12, if you somehow keep in mind in that order, especially remember the first 5 happened on the Easter day itself. The 6th one will be on the 8th day when St. Thomas also was present. From there onwards, all the other ones. Keep this in mind because they are proofs for the resurrection of Jesus. Today, I would like to continue with that one. The second Sunday of Easter season, where St. Thomas was present and he confesses his faith in the risen Lord in those famous words, "My Lord and my God." With that, perhaps the church began to grow. And during the week, the readings that we are given are all about baptism. The reason is this: if you want to take part in the benefits of the resurrection, the first thing that you should have is baptism. And therefore, the church places before us that conversation that Jesus had with Nicodemus, where Jesus explains about what baptism is, which is a very important document in a way. So that part is, the second week, so to say, and there we are asked to reflect on the meaning, relevance, importance of baptism, through which we enter the life of Jesus, where God's life, Jesus' life, enters in us through baptism. And it is by that we are privileged to obtain the benefits of the resurrection. The third Easter week, is all about the Eucharist. The third Sunday, we have the Gospel about the Emmaus disciples who recognize Jesus at the breaking of the bread. Jesus accompanied them on the way. They did not realize that it was Jesus, but at the breaking of the bread, they recognized him, and that way the Eucharist becomes that which enables us to meet Jesus face to face, to recognize Jesus face to face. In Cologne, in Germany, there is a church with a beautiful, meaningful door. The door has 4 panels, 4 decorated panels. And the first panel shows the 6 stone jars recalling Jesus changing of water into wine. That was, in a way, the first miracle that is reported, and that was pre-telling or already enabling us to realize what the Holy Eucharist is. The second panel is about the feeding of the 5,000, and there the promise Jesus makes, I am the living bread which has come down from heaven. Anyone who eats this bread will live forever. A second very important word about the Holy Eucharist. The third panel is about the Last Supper, where the Holy Eucharist is instituted. What was just promised by Jesus, I will give this bread, that bread he gave in the Holy Eucharist. And the fourth panel is about the Emmaus disciples who recognized Jesus at the breaking of the bread. This work of art, in a way, is an excellent summary of the Holy Eucharist. It recalls the prefiguring at Cana. It shows the promises made at Capernaum. It gives us the words of the institution at the Last Supper in Jerusalem, and it was first celebrated at Emmaus. The Holy Eucharist is now the way the risen Lord is with us. We may not really pay attention to this aspect, but I personally feel this is a very valuable statement. Today, the risen Lord is with us through the Holy Eucharist, and His presence is given to us through the Holy Eucharist. The risen Lord lives with us, lives amidst us, lives within us through the Holy Eucharist. The Holy Eucharist then becomes the means by which the risen Lord is with us. The fourth Sunday, just the last Sunday, the fourth Sunday is called the Good Shepherd Sunday, and the fourth and fifth week we have those famous I am statements given by St. John. There are 7 very clear statements where Jesus says, I am, I am, I am. I'll just give the list of the famous I am statements. The first one is, I am the bread of life. That is in John chapter 6:35. The second one, I am the light of the world. John 8:12. I am the gate for the sheepfold. John chapter 10:7. I am the good shepherd. John 10:11. I am the resurrection and the life. John 11:25. I am the way, the truth, and the life. John 14:6. I am the vine. John 15:1, 15:5. These 7 statements are in a way answer to the question, who is this Jesus? And Jesus himself answers in this way. I'll stop with this. We'll continue next week, more or less with the same thought about the I am statements.